exposing the hot-pounding world of boxing, every hit, every victory, every moment. Introducing the Ultimate Boxing Podcast, your one-stop shop for everything boxing, from electrifying fight previews to in-depth interviews with the legends of the ring. We break down the biggest bouts round by round, get inside the minds of the fighters, hear their stories, and feel the intensity of their training. Whether you're a hardcore fan or just starting out, our podcast has got you covered. Stay updated with the latest news, rivalries, and predictions. Tune in and feel the adrenaline, the passion, the raw power of boxing. So what are you waiting for? Like, follow, and subscribe to the Unprofessional Experts Podcast. Stay tuned for more exciting updates. Without boxing, nothing in the world means anything.
Welcome back, fight fans. Per usual, we are the Unprofessional Experts Podcast. Go ahead, like, follow, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a best friend to tell an aunt to share it with their cats, their dogs, everybody you know. We're on every station, everywhere. Just search the Unprofessional Experts Podcast. That's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, wherever you would like. Go ahead and get tuned right in. Get ready for today's episode.
All right, let's do it. Let's get into it, man. Let's talk about it. So we got a special episode for y'all today. We're going to switch it up a little bit. We got a 24 greatest fighters of all time list for 2024. And I'm not going to lie, I got a few issues with this list, but we're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it. Number one on this random list, we got Sugar Ray Leonard. All right, so out the gate, we messing up with this one. So let's talk about it. Number one, Sugar Ray Leonard, best fighter in the world, pound for pound.
So I would just like to start by saying, if this list is biased, that's okay. And also, I would like to say, no Sugar Ray slander over here, because he is one of the four kings. Sanchez, man, how we feel about Sugar Ray number one?
You got to be on the top five, hands down. Top five.
Yeah, top five. I give you that top five, but number one?
It's arguable. You can argue it.
I think it's non-debatable.
Oh,
the Bolo punch, the way he beat the brakes off the likes of Tommy Hearns, toe-to-toe with Marvin Hagler.
He beat some greats, but he dies Darren Pryor. He dies Darren Pryor.
Let's talk about it. And Roberto beat the brakes off of him.
I would have dodged Aaron Pryor as well, because word on the street was he was off extracurricular stuff and substances to help him get through the fights. And so if that were to be true, I wouldn't have fought him either.
The special bottle.
The absence of a post-fight drug test focused.
What are we talking about? The one I mixed.
Trainer.
yeah, definitely had that special bottle on it.
He had the secret sauce in the corner, so I wouldn't have fought Aaron Pryor either.
Man, listen, he dodged wreck. He dodged wreck with Aaron Pryor, so I can't give him the number one.
He did dodge a little smoke. But let's move on to number two. We got the greatest Muhammad Ali. How we feeling about that? Number two overall.
The GOAT. I mean, I'm definitely not gonna say it's not number two. Number one, he can put him number one. Even if you think somebody's better than him, you still gotta show respect. Put him number one. Him or Sugar Ray Robinson. One of them two got to be number one in my eyes.
Well, I would say the reason that Muhammad Ali is number two on this list, and this person is catching a stray for no reason, but his grandson is trash. And so, because that happened, Muhammad Ali slid down to number two on the list.
Man, what? So the grandson just tarnished his legacy.
Somewhat.
That's what happened?
Somewhat.
That's
a little
crazy
bit.
work.
Yeah.
That's crazy work.
That's crazy work right there.
Shout out to Nico Ali Wash, but get tight, get better. So because of that, your grandfather is not the best ever.
Man.
So, yeah.
I disagree. I'm sorry. I got to disagree on that, man.
Wow. Okay, moving on. Number three is very interesting. Apparently, Apollo Creed. Apollo Creed is the number three overall pound for pound fighter of all time, and I really do want to talk about this one. What's going on with this list, man?
I can explain this. Let me explain myself. All right. So
you made this list? You made this list?
Somewhat. No, I want to say we collaborated on it, but
I didn't collaborate.
I'm holding you responsible for letting him do this, man.
All right, so hear me out. Apollo Creed is number 3 on this all-time pound for pound list because sometimes it takes a good movie to get inspired, right?
Right.
He's something. Damn, Ron, come on! What's the matter with you?
You may want to be a fighter, but once you see that movie, you think, man, Apollo Creed said he would die in that ring, right? And so you
When Rocky said that?
Did he?
Yeah, Apollo Creed just died. Rocky said he would die. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
So, all right. So Apollo's fictional, right? He's a fictional character.
Okay.
But you need fictional people sometimes to be inspired, right? A good boxing movie may have inspired more fighters.
Hey, man, check me out. The man died in the ring. Wasn't too much inspiration about that, man.
That is true. That is true.
I'm just saying.
But there's so many good sports movies. So I think a fictional character needed a space on this list. Might be a little high at number 3, but
You could put Rocky
Just a
on
little
there. I've
bit,
been okay with
just-
Rocky, man.
Just a little high on that. So yeah, I definitely wholeheartedly disagree with number 3.
we got his son. We got Adonis in the Creed movies. Like, who didn't want to see those, right?
You got
Good
it.
stuff. Good stuff.
You got it.
Yeah, moving on. We're gonna speed it up a little bit. We're gonna do 4 and 5. So apparently, number 4 on this list, Sugar Ray Robinson, and number 5 on this list, Iron Mike Tyson. How we feeling about those picks?
Sugar Ray Robinson. We just said he could be possibly number 1 or number 2. Him and Ali. That's like, you got to pay homage to them guys right there. They opened the door for all boxers to do what they're doing right now.
Sugar Ray Robinson probably has the most iconic nickname, starting with Sugar. Iron Mike, he's that guy. You could put him wherever on the list, as long as they are there.
I can't put Mike on the top 5 because if you look at it, all his big fights, he didn't win all his. He knocked a lot of guys out. He throttled a lot of motherfuckers, but he did not win the big fights. The Lennox Lewis, the Evander Holyfields, the Buster Douglas. Who else can we go? We go down the list. He did not win the big fights.
But I will argue this. He's the first person on prime time to bite off somebody's ear.
The best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can.
And
So that makes him great, right?
That changes things.
That
You gotta
changes
talk about it. We gotta talk about what makes somebody great. Like, if you were watching that, I could only imagine.
I mean, man, I don't say that makes him great. You know, I put, you know what I mean? He heavyweights, I put him on top, you know what I mean? Maybe top 5, 10 heavyweights, but all time,
Ask Evander.
actually,
That's Vander.
you got it. You got it. I ain't gonna even argue that one.
6 and 7 on this list. We got Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao.
Floyd Mayweather Jr., man, okay. Listen, I can't say nothing about that, man. He boxes, stick and move. He's one of the best boxers of all time in this era, in his era. You know what I mean? He wouldn't have been undefeated in different eras, but you know what I mean? He's the best boxer of his era. I can't argue that.
Let's talk about it. Well, you don't think he would have been undefeated in the 80s or the
You
90s?
put him there with Sugar Ray Leonard. You would have put him there with Tommy Hearns. Hey, tell you what, Terrence Crawford beats Floyd Mayweather.
A prime Floyd Mayweather.
A prime Floyd Mayweather.
I'm not gonna disagree with that. But I do have a take on Floyd and his spot on the list.
And, hold on, let me.
Wait, no, hold on. We're not going to speed past that. Terrence Crawford beats a prime Floyd Mayweather
Listen,
Jr.?
I don't care what that 50-0 says. Floyd got losses on his records. You know, I know. I mean, are y'all going to argue
Castillo?
that? Castillo, most definitely. That first fight, he beat that man.
That's debatable.
Madonna?
That's debatable. Madonna. That's debatable. It's debatable.
Floyd also lost to the justice system when he put his hands on his girlfriend. Spent some time. In prison.
Also,
But
Manny Pacquiao is
I would also say, check me out. Prime Floyd, I would put Pretty Boy Floyd high on that list. But Floyd Money Mayweather doesn't even make the list.
Floyd in a little weight, he was thang. He was thang.
Mm-hmm.
He was thang. You know what I mean? Now, when he got to the bigger weights, he didn't have that pop like that. He wasn't cracking like that.
It wasn't the same.
The disrespect.
He doesn't even make the list. Floyd Money Mayweather.
Okay.
The
All right.
entertainer.
How we feeling about Manny?
Manny,
Legend.
man right there. He knocked out. He see his resume? Morales, Barrera, and these is motherfucking assassins. You know, he got wars with what's your man, Juan Manuel Marquez. We got
Well,
Ricky Hatton, Miguel Cotto. His resume is deep.
we ain't gonna bring up Marquez, are we?
Oh yeah, because Marquez but they fought. They fought 4 times, man.
Oh, okay. I mean, Marquez kind of he hurt him, right?
Hurt him.
Yeah, he put him to
He
sleep.
linked him.
He took him to the hospital. But I mean,
Hey man, but you still gotta respect that man. You gotta respect that man. In and out the ring, you gotta respect that man. You know what I mean? What he does, you know what I mean? In and out the ring, he looks out. He good to his peoples up in his country. He looks out. You gotta respect that man. Politics, all that shit, man. The man's very respectable. He humble. I like a motherfucker like that. You hear me?
no Manny slander here. I agree.
All right, and rounding out the top 10 of this list, we got Marvin Hagler, George Foreman, and Terrence Crawford. How we feeling about that?
Now that's
Bud should be higher.
man. I mean, higher. You know what I mean? Let him earn something first.
Bud
you know
should
what I
be
mean? They
higher.
gotta earn something, but. I'm
Undisputed.
confused with the George Foreman. You know what I mean? George Foreman, you know what I mean? He was one of the top hitters in the world, you know what I mean, of all time, but I ain't gonna say top fighters, you know what I mean? I'm really not going.
Hold on. Because the first time I used a George Foreman grill, it changed everything. Right?
Hey,
And
man,
so
I bet you don't got a George Foreman grill right now.
I don't.
Okay.
But
point exactly. That was then, this is now. You know what I mean?
it keeps you lean and fit. Like even
I can't tell.
the grease tray, right?
The grease tray.
The grease tray was great. It changed the game, right?
Yeah.
He has the best grill. Like a lot of boxers do, you know. They have side quests,
Hey.
right? When they get older, when they're no longer fighting, George Foreman did his side quest the best. And that's why he's where he's at on the list.
Okay.
Bud should be higher.
Terrence, I mean, for today's fighters, I say, you know what I mean? But
So who would you move? Who would you move out of this list to?
I would move Floyd,
you want to move Apollo?
Money Mayweather.
you wouldn't move Apollo?
You're
I
not
was
gonna
going-
move.
You would not move
You're not
Apollo.
gonna move Apollo Creed out of the way for Terrence Crawford.
I was more inspired by Apollo Creed. you
Oh
know.
shit!
But
You know what I mean?
Bud's my guy, but I'm keeping Apollo Creed up there because
At number 3.
go watch Rocky. All right, that's all I'm gonna say.
He lost
But,
and he died.
He's alive in spirit, right? That's how I feel.
Wow.
Bud should be higher. I don't know who you take out for Bud, but it should be higher. You could take out Mike if you want it. Bud has a lot more.
Or Apollo.
accomplishments.
I'm just saying. You know what I mean?
And we can't skip over Marvin Hagler at number 8.
Dog, marvelous.
No. Actually, I'm sorry. I did skip over her. I did skip over Marvin Hagler. No, you can. His resume runs deep. The only man to beat him really was what's your man's name? Sugar Ray Leonard.
Number one on the list.
Yeah, number one. Number one on your list. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, only man to beat him. But you know what I mean? He played that the smart way. He waited till he got old, came in there, did his thing, and
Hold on, no marvelous slander, please.
listen, I don't ever slander that man. That motherfucker's a monster, man.
monster.
I'm not gonna ever slander Marvin Hagler. Hell no.
I couldn't make it to the pros, right, due to my ability to stop eating chicken, right? But had I ever made it to the pros, my nickname was gonna be Marvelous. So
Marvelous?
that's how much he inspired me in boxing. So he could even be higher.
So who inspired you more, Apollo Creed or Marvin Hagler?
Got to be Marvin.
Okay,
For sure.
okay. I was just wondering.
Shout
Gotta be
out to Marvin Hagler
And Apollo.
and Apollo Creed for some reason.
R.I.P.
All right.
Apollo.
So and going to 11, 12, and 13, we got Julio Cesar Chavez, Bernard Hopkins, and the Brown Bomber Joe Louis.
All right. You know, Julio Cesar, you're going to put him number 5 in the top 5. In the top 5, hands down. What's he got? 108 wins, 89 knockouts, and 6 losses. I think 2 draws.
He was the man.
And he didn't just, he dodged no record. He cleared out divisions, jumped to the next weight, cleared out that division, and jumped to, dodged nobody.
He was definitely
Dodged
that guy.
nobody.
He was definitely that guy.
Yeah, so, you know what I mean? And
But-
that in a rough era of boxing.
But I would say he kind of got a gift in that fight with Magic Taylor. That first fight with Magic. He kind of got a gift, man.
Hey,
what's
one
his
more
name?
hit can change your life.
Richard Steele.
You can argue that. One more hit can change your life,
Yeah,
though.
you
You see
can-
what Melvin look like right now?
I get you, and I got all that. But that fight, I think Richard
think he
Steele
deserved
saved him. He saved him. He saved Julio Cesar Chavez.
No,
he should have stopped that
I
fight.
tell you where he got a gift at. You can argue that. I tell you where he got a gift at. Pernell Whitaker. He got a gift. That wasn't no draw. That man lost that fight. You know what I mean? Pernell was too big for him. Hands down, too quick, too fast. He lost that fight. Y'all want to argue anything? He got a gift. That was the gift he got.
Chavez could have been higher on the list, but his son is trash. And
So
so,
Man, the guys catching L's because of their son.
You cannot make this shit up. You can't make it up.
Junior, I don't know what's up with that guy. Maybe he could have been good. I don't know. I mean, he was a champ, so I guess respect to him.
I mean,
but
yeah.
he made his dad look bad, I would say. But
How we feel about B-Hop?
B-Hop?
the execution.
Man, listen, I'll tell you one thing you got to respect about B-Hop. B-Hop got out of prison at, 30, 31 years old and turned pro as soon as he got out of prison. And arguably for the greatest middleweight of all time, arguably. I don't know if you put him in different areas, but you could argue that he's the greatest middleweight of all time. Out of prison, 31, turned pro, lost your first 2 fights, and then look at the reign he had. It's crazy.
Respect to B-Hop.
Respect. I wasn't a big fan. He wasn't like I wasn't a big fan, but you got to respect that.
Yeah, definitely respect
Joe
to
Smith
B-Hop.
Jr. knocked him out the ring, but other than that,
You just got to be bringing up all this. You just got to bring up this shit of bullshit.
And we gotta remember the classic heavyweight Joe Louis, the Brown Bomber. He definitely deserves to be on this
Hey
list.
man, I argue with a lot of people, man. Joey Lewis, greatest heavyweight of all time. They could say Muhammad Ali, but my eyes it was Joe Louis. You know what I mean? He was.
Do you think that Joe Louis could have handled a guy like George Foreman?
That's tough right there. That's tough. I mean, I think he had a better boxing skill, better boxing IQ, but you get hit with them hammers. It's a whole different ball game.
It's different. It's a whole different ball game.
I'm gonna be honest. Joe Louis is there just because we have to respect the legends of the sport. Like, he fought a long time ago. But shout out to Joe
You
Louis.
just give them charity.
Essentially.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy work. That's crazy.
Next 3 guys we got on this list. We got James Toney, Andre Ward, and Joe Frazier.
Man, we grew up together. You know, I love James Toney, man.
Yeah,
James
that's my
Toney.
guy.
I mean, I'll tell you what, he's the only fighter in boxing history to win a middleweight, a super middleweight, light heavyweight, even got a cruiserweight and a heavyweight title.
Unreal.
That's only fighter in the history. What's his man? Roy Jones skipped his cruiserweight. He skipped cruiserweight and won the title on the other one, but he got him in 5 different weight classes.
Legendary. I actually don't have a trophy for James Toney. Defensively, a style of its own.
Body snatcher, hands down. Body snatcher. He beats your body up, make you tired.
He perfected his craft. I like James Toney.
Yeah.
Hands down.
He was that guy.
No
James Toney was that
disrespect
guy.
to James.
How we feeling about Andre Ward?
I get him the fuck off the list. Get him the hands. I don't even want to talk about this. Get him the fuck off the list.
What's up with the Andre Ward?
Man,
what's going on?
Is he undefeated? In your eyes, he undefeated.
I mean, Kovalev.
It's
It's debatable.
It's debatable.
It's debatable.
It's debatable.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, look at Kovalev now.
Yeah,
took
I'm
a
not
couple
talking about now.
losses.
We talking past tense right now. Look, he whooped that boy ass and they
He
stole
won the
fight.
second fight convincingly.
Man, listen, second, first. He lost that fight. He should have that one on that record, that one loss. You know what I mean? That one ass whooping. But
I mean, you talk about somebody.
but it is what it is. Like Floyd got about 1s or 2s on his record that they don't show.
it's
But
part of the game.
is
Politics.
what it is. Yep.
Right. But Andre Ward, somebody who's extremely skilled. Talking about somebody else who really perfected their craft.
Yeah, he was really
I mean,
good. He was. He was really good at
He's
his
up there
craft.
with Apollo Creed.
And do we agree with Joe Frazier at 16? How we feel about Smoking Joe?
Smoking Joe, 16. I mean, I don't know if I would have put him. I don't know if a lot of people I wouldn't put on this list, but Joe Frazier, a lot of people starting with Apollo Creed, but man, you could argue he's at least on the top 50, but I wouldn't say top 24.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Smoking Joe? Not top 24?
So there's too many greats. There's fighters I don't see on this list. It's like, man, y'all crazy.
I'm gonna tell you why Smoking Joe makes the list, right? So he went against what they teach you in boxing, the fundamentals. You should not come off of your feet to throw a left hook, and he did it. He did it good. He landed knockout punches with it. And so I like that he was able to take his own style against the fundamentals and be effective with it. One of the greatest left hooks in history.
Hey,
Yeah.
hands down.
I agree with that.
Hands down. Cannot take that away from him. But
I mean, George Foreman
You
did him
see
bad.
what George Foreman did? That shit was
bad.
that shit was embarrassing.
It was.
He didn't want that rematch. He said, man, he's like, man, I'm cool. You got it. Like, he didn't want that smoke.
Next
turned
three guys
around.
on this list, we got Roy Jones, Tommy Hearns, and Evander Holyfield.
Roy Jones in his prime, man, my eyes couldn't nobody fuck with him, man. You see what he did. You see what he did to fucking James Toney. He made James Toney look like, and nobody makes James Toney look like an asshole.
That's facts.
In his prime, when that man had his legs, before I don't know what he started doing to lose his legs, but when he had his legs, that man was serious.
The most successful boxer turned rapper. And so if we point that out, give Roy Jones his respect.
That's it. That's how we got for Roy. He's the most successful boxer turned rapper. That's all he was.
Good song. Good song.
Wow.
That's
disrespectful. Tommy Hearns.
man, hands down. I put him on the top 10, really.
So I just recently watched him versus was it Chavez?
No, Duran.
Duran.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
Duran,
Duran.
yeah.
Him
he
versus
did fight
Duran.
Chavez.
And man, I could watch that time and time again. Man.
Listen,
That was
man,
bad.
That man, look, nobody knocked Duran out. Nobody knocked Duran out. Tommy Hearns put that motherfucker to sleep.
Like he stole something. He
Man,
beat him like he
man,
owed him money.
He hit that damn sniper rifle on his ass.
So,
That man was.
Tommy Hearns. He starred in Martin, right? You got to talk about the influence that he had because that's important. All the lumps he left on Martin.
That's new to me. I didn't know that. You know what I mean? But you got it.
Definitely left Martin lumped up.
Shout out Tommy Hearns. Detroit. Shout out Detroit. Motor City Cobra.
Evander Holyfield. He
He's a
belongs on
dog.
the list. Yeah, he's definitely a dog.
I put him on the top. Yeah, I get him on this list. I don't know if I would have went 19, but yeah, I put him on the list.
Would you say he doesn't make it? Is that what you
No,
about
I
to
didn't say he didn't make it. I said he don't. I don't put him on 19. I put him in the top 24.
Okay.
24, I guess. But yeah,
I like Evander.
most definitely. He was rough,
He's a
tough,
warrior.
and he was dirty, which y'all never caught it, man. Type dude rub his head on your face.
I mean, after you get your ear bit off, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Ain't no holding back after that shit.
Next, we got Canelo Alvarez,
Man.
Roberto Duran, and a surprising ad on this list, Clarissa Shields at
So why is that surprising?
number 22.
No,
Well,
hold
just
on,
surprising.
surprising. You know, this Canelo thing. You know what I mean? Like, he dodges wreck. He just like, you know what I mean? He dodges wreck. He don't.
He currently is. Yes.
He currently dodging wreck.
His resume is loaded.
His resume is loaded, man. You can say that, man. He's dodging wreck right now.
And I say that as a Canelo hater. His resume is loaded, but there is an obvious elephant in the room.
They want to call him. He wants to be one of the top greats like Julio Cesar Chavez. He didn't dodge no wreck. You lined him up and he went through him.
I agree. Canelo could end his career better, but
Probably not.
How we feel about Roberto?
we just talked
I mean,
about what
well,
Tommy
man,
Hearns
hands
did.
or
So
Oh yeah, we just
They talking about Tommy
So
Hearns.
wait a minute, is that
No.
Roberto's legacy that he got knocked out by Tommy
No,
Hearns?
that's
Is that
not
what's
it.
going?
Like,
Don't
Stop
say
it,
that's
man.
his
Come
legacy.
on,
You
man.
know what I
Go-
mean?
get on
'Cause
YouTube.
Who else did him like that? Styles make a fight. That was
Yeah.
just a style
No,
he
facts.
couldn't fuck with. You
Yeah,
know
Styles
At
make
all.
fights.
what I mean?
Come on, don't do because guess who beat your number one guy?
who?
Roberto Duran beat your number one guy on this list.
Beat the shit out of him.
Okay, I gotta go back and watch that.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Hey, but Marvin Hagler fucked everybody up. He couldn't really. He had a rough time with Durant.
Durant's
Shit.
okay.
The disrespect. And then also we got Clarissa Shields on here. I'm not sure.
I'm not gonna argue Clarissa Shields. You know what I mean? 'Cause ain't too many women boxers that really do what she do. So I'm not gonna argue it.
That's facts.
So-
Yeah, put a lady on the list.
You gotta.
right?
I mean, yeah, gotta put her on the list. You know what I mean?
She done won like
You can't argue. She
42 belts, maybe. I don't know.
She whoop shit. I ain't gonna even lie. She don't just
Her
she
last
whoop
fight?
shit.
Her last fight, good stuff.
Good. Yeah, I ain't
Right.
and
Yeah.
she pretty exciting. You know what I mean?
But I just think that there were a lot of people that were skipped over in favor of Clarissa Shields. It just in
And
my
Apollo
opinion,
Creed.
Apollo Creed being another one.
These people deserve to be on this list.
And for our last two fighters, we got Pernell Whitaker and Oscar De La Hoya to round out 23 and 24.
Pernell, a legend defensively. I feel like a predecessor to Floyd and amazing defensive styles. Exciting to watch. A legend in his own right. I can't help but mention fishnets when it comes to De La Hoya.
Oh shit!
You know, it's a thing.
It is a thing.
And he's had some really questionable videos as of late.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug, man. It is a hell of a drug. That's all I'm saying. But shout out to Oscar De La Hoya, man. Shout out to Oscar. But
It's very possible he's being influenced by something. It's possible.
but
legends, 2 legends.
That's
Pernell, I think Pernell should have been higher in the list.
Who
for
you
sure.
take out?
I
Who do you
agree.
move for Pernell?
Apollo.
Yeah, definitely Apollo.
Apollo,
should not have made the list.
Apollo, hands down.
Y'all don't like boxing movies like that?
I love Rocky. Rocky, obviously, Rocky wanted to be a boxer. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right there. You need those fictional guys.
But no, most definitely, he should have been in the top 10, hands down, the top 10.
Pernell should have been.
Pernell, hands down, defensively. You know what I mean, man? You couldn't touch that man. Look, Oscar De La Hoya fought the man when he was in his prime, and that man was old. He could barely still touch him, and he was old.
Yeah, Pernell was that guy.
Hands down.
Shout out to both of those guys, both legends.
Yeah, we got a really, really interesting all-time list here. You guys can debate about it, maybe in the comments or something like that. Very interesting list. But I got a question for you two guys, man. Who's the face of boxing right now?
See, everybody's gonna argue and say Canelo. I'm not going. Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford, or what's that? The Asian boy. He
Inu?
Yeah, he knew he's doing this thing too. I'm gonna say Terrence Crawford. You can even argue Gervonta Davis.
Yeah,
you can argue that too.
It is arguable. Either Terrence Crawford or Gervonta Davis right now, for sure.
All right, don't hate me for this response. All right, hear me out. Hear me out. The face of boxing right now is Shakur Stevenson. And the reason that Shakur Stevenson is the face of boxing is because he is a person who you love to hate. You're there to see him win. You're there to see him lose. I don't know if he did it on purpose, but he built up the personality that makes people want to watch. Even if you just get online and say, I fell asleep to Shakur's fight, he's making you tune in. Win or lose, you're going to watch. You're going to talk about.
I don't know that
You're going to have an opinion on Shakur Stevenson.
Over Terrence Crawford?
I put Canelo over.
Terrence Crawford is Shakur Stevenson's big homie.
The most marketable fighter in boxing right now, because he can do terrible, he can do great. We're all going to talk about it. Everybody's going to have an opinion on Shakur Stevenson.
That's every fighter, really.
I mean, to be honest,
that's every top fighter. If they do good, bad, motherfuckers gonna talk about it.
So I compare it to Floyd in his prime, right? Floyd built up every fight and it was boring, but you had to watch it because win or lose, you had an opinion on Floyd's career. And if Eddie Hearn and Matchroom do this right, they can have the same effect with Shakur Stevenson's career. If they market him the right way, get him the right fights in front of the right people, we're going to talk about Shakur Stevenson for years to come.
I'm not a big fan of him. I'm not a big fan of him. You know what I mean? Maybe he proves me wrong later down the road, but right now, hang that up.
Arguably. Now, he is boring to watch, right? And so
I really don't think it's up for discussion, really.
As a face, it's about who's most marketable, right? You said Canelo, right? We're talking about Inoue, Gervonta, right? But we go to those fights to see those guys win. I go to Shakur to hate. That's why he is the face of boxing. Like it or not, people love to hate him. And so Shakur Stevenson is the face of boxing.
No. I won't put him. I don't put him over. I'm not putting him over Tank.
The issue with Shakur Stevenson is that the guy he doesn't punch. You're never going to get a knockout. Most of us tune into boxing to see people get hurt, see people get knocked out, and that's why we love Tank so much. Because that's what he does. He gets people out of there.
Talk about that matchup, Shakur versus Tank. And I think we would all love to see it, right? But I think that Shakur, I really liked him signing with Matchroom and Eddie Hearn. Because, most of those fights are over in England, UK, Saudi Arabia. So it gives him more market value to what he's already built in the US. He could become a global superstar if he's marketed correctly.
Shakur Stevenson.
Shakira Twitterson could be if done right, if he's handled correctly.
I don't know about that. But speaking of getting knocked out, Has either one of you ever been knocked out? Be honest. Let's be honest about that.
You've been there. I most definitely been stopped a couple times. You know what I mean? So.
How about you, Jay? You ever been knocked out cold?
I mean, I've seen stars. I've been in the green room. I'm not sure what happened. I was just in the ring, right? So I've been close. If I haven't been, All right.
Well, we're gonna introduce this new segment we came with called folding chair activity. Y'all check it out.
Damn, he got folded like a lawn chair.
Ouch!
For an all it is.
All right, so we want to preview this upcoming match, Canelo versus Berlanga. How we feeling about that matchup?
I don't got no feelings about that matchup. Everybody knows, Berlanga knows that Canelo's gonna win the fight. You know what I mean? He knows he's getting a payday, and he's happy about it.
Everybody knows it.
Yeah, so
It's a waste of time, right? Just to be honest. But I hate, I'm a Canelo hater. I'll just be honest. And so he's a legend, right? His resume is stacked. He's pound for pound. He's this, he's that. He's whatever you want to make him. Why is he fighting Berlanga? Let's talk about that, right?
Man.
Who okayed, like, oh, let's go fight Edgar Berlanga. That's the fight fans want to see. I hate that for his career, right? And I hate that, everything about it.
Until he fights David Benavidez or who else?
Listen,
else would you
man.
say?
Y'all, a lot of people gonna hate me for. I know all my Latinos, all my Mexican people's gonna hate me for this. Terrence Crawford beats Canelo, hands down. I said it.
I don't like that fight, but I'm not mad at it.
And I think we've talked about that before, and I do think Terrence would have to put on a really good boxing display and make sure he uses his feet, uses the entire ring against Canelo. But I think he could pull it off. He could outbox Canelo.
He beats Canelo. That man is a throwback fighter. He could have fought in any era. He could have fought in the era with Tommy Hearns and that man could have fought in any era and he would have been good. I'm not saying he would have been undefeated, but I'm saying he would have fought in any era and he could have held his own.
You know who Canelo doesn't beat?
Does it beat Terrence?
Apollo Creed.
If
you put him in the movie, he does bad.
Okay. Not Apollo, man. We can't fuck with Apollo, man.
Wait a minute. If Drago could kill Apollo, I think Canelo has a chance.
Drago was on something, man. He was off some sauce.
Man.
He had to be, man. He killed my guy, man. He killed my guy. I hate that for him.
Oh, man. But yeah, I think Canelo, he should fight somebody like a David Benavidez or a better BF. Like he needs to fight somebody like this.
He doesn't want that smoke.
Clearly he doesn't want that smoke.
Man, he rather fight Terrence Crawford than he fight David Benavidez. That man, he's a train wreck, man. That man, he hawks you down.
He's that guy.
He's hard. He got some chin on him. The only difference I seen, you know what I mean, from the boxing perspective, you know what I mean, I know a little something, maybe just a little bit, man. The man's a straight up fighter. David Benavidez is a straight up fighter. If you know something, he's a straight up fighter. And Canelo kind of got a little, little movement, a little skill, a little more skill than David. That could be the only catch there, right there. But he's still a man who takes a punch, gives a punch, and keeps coming. Them are rough motherfuckers to fight right there.
I actually think Canelo would do well against Benavidez. So it really throws me off. It surprises me that he doesn't want that fight. I actually don't understand it.
I don't think anybody understands it.
I mean,
But speaking of David Benavidez, we got a fantasy matchup. And we're wondering, how would Andre Ward do against David Benavidez? What does that fantasy matchup look like? What's the outcome of that?
He gets stopped early by Andre Ward.
David Benavidez gets stopped early by Andre Ward?
Absolutely.
so hey, what was the Russian guy who beat him? Was Kovalev?
Kovalev.
Kovalev. Look at the similarities in their styles right there between Benavidez and Kovalev. Except Benavidez is more aggressive, got a better chin, and got more skill about himself. He stops Andre Ward.
Andre Ward gets stopped.
He stops.
He never lost, but he gets stopped by Benavidez.
Benavidez is
hold
still
on.
got his old too, right?
We just had a discussion, man. He lost. He got a loss on that record. Kovalev beat that man. I don't care what nobody says. Andre Ward knows Kovalev beat him.
I like Benavidez. Don't get me wrong, but there's levels to the fight game, right? There's levels to boxing, and when we talk about levels, and we talk about skill, and we talk about technique, and the ability to be able to adjust mid-fight, Andre Ward has all of that. He has every tool. He figures out Benavidez early, and he makes light work of him. It's not even close.
Damn, light work.
The disrespect is serious over
crazy
here, man.
right now.
I was just saying I like Canelo. I don't understand why he's ducking Benavidez. He's a straight up fighter, right? He's coming forward. You know exactly what you're getting in Benavidez. Once Benavidez gets behind in the fight, once he has somebody in front of him who he can't walk down and hurt, Benavidez is going to look like a deer in headlights. It's going to happen. It's coming soon.
Man.
And Andre Ward would be the technician, the tactical enforcer against David Benavidez.
Man, what's in that coffee, man?
Man, what you got in that McDonald's cup, man? What's going on right now?
Shout out McDonald's. Caramel iced coffees. We're looking for that sponsorship.
Man, leave that alone.
Andre Ward wins, right? But good stuff. Overall, man, great matchup. I got Andre Ward, but you never know who would win. You know, the reason for a fantasy matchup. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Does Andre Ward do his thing, or does Benavidez walk Andre Ward down? I don't think so, but either way, let us know what you think. As always, we are the Unprofessional Experts Podcast. It's JMC and Davo. Special host Sanchez. Shout out Sanchez.
Shout out Sanchez for
joining
coming
us
through.
for the episode today. Like, follow, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a aunt. Get your pets. Sit down and watch this video or stream it. Listen. Check us out. The Unprofessional Experts Podcast. Until next time.
Against the odds to be successful because it's not in your favor. The game ain't built for your success. You just gotta be a beast. You gotta be harder. You gotta be stronger. You gotta be meaner. You gotta be hungrier because you're gonna be fighting an uphill battle. It's like escape velocity. You know, to get out of the atmosphere, going to space, you need escape velocity. And if you don't have it, you're not gonna penetrate the atmosphere. Because it's gravity working against you. It's embrace it as part of the game. That's how it go. You know, that's what it's physics. It ain't personal. It's science. It's real. If you're a young kid trying to do it, it's gonna run you down. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna beat you up. But life gonna do it to you. Failing gonna do that to you too. That's real though. I think to stay inspired, you just have to make the decision that that's your intention. And I think that's what we see when we see young people do unbelievable things come from Oz. It's unbelievable. They had the raw intention, they had a strong intention, it was pure. And it drove them there and it took them there and they navigated, you know, through all the speed bumps and the potholes and all that.